chosen one. Perhaps you haven't realized this clearly yet, but there is something powerful happening every time you choose to step back. It's not drama, it's not ego, it's energy, yours. And when you stop being so present everywhere, when you stop responding immediately, when you stop making yourself always available, the things around you start to change. It's as if a gear that kept everything in motion began to fail. People become uncomfortable. Some demand from you, others criticize you. There are even those who try to make you feel guilty for taking time for yourself. But deep down, what bothers them is not your absence. It's the void that it reveals. It's the dependence that they try to hide behind routine, automated messages, and unrecognized favors. Do you know why? Because you have always been there, always ready, always saying yes, always solving. And little by little, you became part of the emotional structure of others. A pillar that no one noticed, but that supported much more than it should have. The thing is, the energy of the chosen one is not infinite. And the more you give yourself to keep others' worlds functioning, the more you fade in your own world. This video is not for everyone. It's for you who feels tired without knowing why, who feels that something is wrong but still can't name it. It's for those who have already realized that they are present in everything, except in their own life. Here, you will understand what changes when you disappear a little, and why this disappearance can actually be the beginning of your reconnection with who you are. And look, you don't have to watch in a hurry. Take your time. But if at any moment this message makes sense to you, consider joining us here on this channel, not for trendiness, nor for the algorithm, but because perhaps, just perhaps, you feel that this is one of the few places where your soul can finally breathe. Have you noticed how the world seems to turn upside down when you decide to step back a bit? It's like everything suddenly stops working. People start complaining, pressuring you. You become the target of judgments, as if the mere fact of needing some time is an affront. They call you cold. They say you have changed. But no one asks how you are. No one wants to understand the reason for your silence. They just want you to go back to being what you always were. Available. Always there. Holding everything together, sustaining conversations, resolving crises, smiling even when inside everything hurt. The truth is that your presence kept a lot of things standing. A lot, really. You were the invisible glue between people, situations, and even environments. When you withdraw, it's not you who is crumbling. It's the system you supported alone, and no one noticed. It's like that old house that doesn't collapse only because someone lives there taking care of every crack. You were that person, cleaning up everyone else's mess, gluing the pieces together, making everything seem fine. But no one saw the effort that this required. No one recognized it. At work, you were the one who covered for others' shortcomings. At home, the one who managed everything. Among friends, the shoulder always available. When you stop, everything collapses. People feel lost, irritated. But this only shows how much they relied on you, often without even thanking you. It's strange to think that your absence says more about the environment than about you. Because when simply being quiet causes so much discomfort, it's a sign that something was very unbalanced. And what's worse, disguised as normal. Sometimes this chaos even reveals who really cared, who only sought you out for their own interest, who only showed up when they needed something. Because when you stop serving, many disappear. When you stop smiling, few ask why. You spent so much time being the foundation that when you decide to breathe, everything shakes. And the feeling that remains is guilt. as if you had done something wrong by finally thinking of yourself. But it's not a mistake. It's a necessity. It's your body and soul crying for help. No one sees the exhaustion of those who are always strong. No one imagines how heavy it is to carry the world of others. They only notice your importance when it's missing. And then they realize it wasn't just kindness. It was effort. It wasn't just care. It was sacrifice. And there is nothing selfish about stepping back. Selfishness is expecting you to always be available, even when you are exhausted. Selfishness is demanding that you continue to sustain everything, even when no one extends a hand for you. When you withdraw, the structure trembles, because you were the axis, the silent center that kept everything spinning. But even a pillar needs to rest. It needs to rebuild itself. It needs to understand what it wants to support and what it no longer wants to. This withdrawal, no matter how painful it may seem to others, is an act of self-love. It is your soul saying, "Enough of giving so much without return." It is a silent cry from someone who is tired of being strong all the time. And however much this bothers, it is necessary, because you were not born to carry everyone on your back. You were born to live your own journey, and only those who respect your silence understand your value. Since you were small, you learned that being good meant always being available, that helping others was an obligation, not a choice, that saying no was ugly, that putting yourself first was selfish, and thus, without realizing it, you became the kind of person who is always there, even when no one is there for you. With each request, you said, "Of course." With every emergency of others, you dropped everything. You were the one who resolved things, the one who understood, the one who calmed. But silently, you were losing yourself, disappearing within the needs of others, becoming a character, the strong one, the savior, the accessible one. And over time, this mask began to weigh heavily. People grew accustomed to your constant presence, to your ability to handle everything. And they began to think this was natural, that it cost you nothing. But it did cost. It cost time, energy, mental health. But since you always managed, no one stopped to think about how exhausting this was for you. And the worst part? The more you did, the more they expected. The more you erased yourself, the more they charged you, because no one values what is always available. That is the truth. The easy becomes invisible. Being too present becomes irrelevant. And then, when you finally get tired, they still try to blame you. It's a subtle trap. Because being useful seems like a beautiful thing. But when it becomes an obligation, it imprisons you. You start to live for others, to forget about yourself, to think your existence only has a value when you are serving someone. And this disconnects you from your essence. You were not made to carry everything, nor to be everywhere, much less to put out fires that aren't even yours. There is a line between helping and abandoning yourself. And you spent so much time on the other side that you no longer remembered what being light felt like. The soul of the chosen one was not made to be an eternal resource. It is rare, intense, sacred. It cannot be wasted on those who only come when they need something, on those who drain but never add, on those who demand but do not reciprocate. And if you stop to think, the people who complain the most about your absence are the ones who were the least present for you. They are the ones who benefited the most from your silent effort. It's not about stopping helping. It's about choosing who deserves your time, who values your giving.
You don't need to always be available to prove that you are good. Your goodness is not in how much you give of yourself, but in how much you respect yourself. And when you learn this, everything changes. You begin to set limits, to say, "Not today," to prioritize yourself. And little by little you realize, those who truly love you understand. Those who have maturity respect you. Because true love does not demand constant presence. It embraces you even when you need to be alone. Have you ever stopped to think about how special your energy is? I'm not talking about physical exhaustion, nor just emotions. I'm talking about what moves you from within. That silent strength that makes you who you are, even when the world tries to mold you differently. Some people call this light, others call it essence. Some say it's the soul. But whatever the name, the fact is, your energy is not common, and it cannot continue to be treated as if it were. Every time you respond on impulse, just to avoid seeming rude, a part of your strength drains away. Every time you explain too much, trying to justify your absence, something inside you wears down. Being accessible all the time sucks you dry. It distracts you. It disconnects you. And the most dangerous part is that this weariness doesn't appear all at once. It settles in gradually. You start to feel irritated for no reason, tired without having done anything. Creativity fades away. Enthusiasm diminishes. Things lose their luster. And you don't even realize that all of this is the result of your uncontrolled giving. It's not that you are doing too much. It's that you are doing too much for those who do not take care in return. For situations that aren't even yours. For demands that throw you off balance. And then, your energy, which should be focused on creating, living, growing, is being drained by other people's chaos. Chosen one, it's time to recognize your energy is sacred. It is not for everyone. It cannot always be available because not everyone knows how to handle it. There are people who come close just to drain you, who only seek you out when they need something, who think you are obligated to solve what they themselves have avoided facing. And you, with that big heart, end up falling into the trap of giving. But there is a difference between generosity and self-abandonment. The first heals. The second makes you sick. You need to protect your energy with the same care you would protect something rare. Because that's what it is. Your energy is what makes you unique. It's what makes you think differently, feel more deeply, see what others ignore. When you wear yourself out trying to please everyone, you dim that spark. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about choosing, about understanding that not every battle is yours, that not every message needs a response, that not every invitation deserves a yes. You have the right to preserve yourself, to withdraw, to reconnect, to say, not today, without guilt, to not explain yourself to those who never truly cared. Your silence is also protection. Your absence is also care. Your mission here is not to fix the world. It is to live your truth. It is to manifest what only you have. And this requires focus. It requires presence. It requires space. You cannot bloom if you are always busy watering other people's gardens. And when you start to protect your energy, something magical happens. You start to hear yourself again. Ideas start to flow. Inspiration returns. You feel whole again. And then, when you choose to give of yourself, it will be by choice, not obligation. Those who truly love you will understand this process. They will respect your silences. They will admire your strength. Because your light shines brighter when you stop dimming it in an attempt to illuminate the path of those who do not want to leave the darkness. There are moments when the most powerful response you can give is none. No words, no gestures, no effort to explain yourself. Just silence. And it's not that empty silence from someone who has given up. It's the conscious silence of someone who has finally understood their own worth. You have spent too much energy trying to justify yourself, trying to be understood by people who only wanted to maintain control.
trying to resolve conflicts that weren't even caused by you. There comes a time when this gets exhausting, when you realize that each explanation is like kneeling down, and you weren't born to bow down. When you stop reacting, the game changes, because those who were used to your immediate availability become confused. Those who expected you to rush to please become frustrated. Silence disarms, it exposes, it frees. People think they have power over you because they always got answers. They always saw you rushing to save the day. They could always count on your hasty yes. But silence shows that now it's different, that you are no longer trapped in that dynamic of pleasing out of fear, of yielding out of habit. Being silent is not running away. It is protecting yourself. It is listening to yourself before responding. It is giving the other person space to deal with their own frustration. Because it's no longer about meeting others' expectations. It's about being true to yourself. And the most beautiful part, silence reveals who truly respects you, who understands your space, who is not offended by your pause. Those stay, those observe, those understand that your absence is not rejection, but healing. You don't need to rush to resolve everything, nor to put out every emotional fire that arises. Your peace has value. Your time is sacred. Your response cannot be automatic. It needs to come from the heart, or not come at all. And the more you practice silence, the more you realize how much you spoke out of fear. Fear of being misunderstood, of being left out, of seeming bad. But now you understand that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Those who truly know you, know. Those who don't know, don't need to have you. Silence is also a response to manipulation, to emotional blackmail, to demands disguised as affection. It's your way of saying, I'm no longer participating in this without raising your voice, without entering into a war. Being less reactive is a superpower, because it shows that you are in control, that you will no longer let others drag you into their urgencies, that your life no longer revolves around others' expectations. And when you decide to be present by choice and not by habit, everything changes. You begin to occupy a new place, a stronger, more whole, more respected place. The world around you learns that you are not always available, but you are more true than ever. When you start to change, the first thing that appears is not relief, it's resistance. And it comes from all sides, including from within yourself. It seems strange, doesn't it? But it's natural. The new is frightening, and your silence, your boundaries, your no, disturb those who have become accustomed to your unconditional giving. In the first few days, guilt appears. You feel as if you are doing something wrong, as if you are abandoning people, as if you have become someone cold, distant. But none of this is true. What is happening, in fact, is the pain of transformation. It's like when you start exercising after a long time of being inactive. At first it hurts. Your body complains. You think about quitting. But the pain is not a sign of error. It's a sign that something is being activated. And with your soul, it's the same. They will accuse you. They will say that you have changed. And you are changing. But this is not a bad thing. It's just that now you are no longer accepting to be used as emotional support by those who have never supported you. You are no longer available to anyone, at any time. And for those who benefited from that, your evolution is a threat. Some people will distance themselves. Others will try to make you return to your old pattern. They will test your limits, your decisions, your firmness. But this is proof that the path is working. When the system begins to react, it's because you have stopped being a part of it. There will be days when you will ask yourself if you are exaggerating, if it wouldn't be easier to just yield. But breathe. Remember all the times you erased yourself just to keep the peace. And even then, it wasn't enough. Because those who demand too much from you are never satisfied. The pain you feel now is not loneliness. It's detoxification. You are leaving a cycle of uncontrolled giving. You are regaining your energy. You are returning to yourself. And yes, it hurts at first, because everything that is new requires courage. But if you hold on firm, something incredible happens. You start to feel lighter, more clear-headed. You begin to notice who really matters, who truly loves you, who stays even when you are not available all the time. And more importantly, you begin to love yourself, to see yourself with kindness, to understand that your worth is not in serving all the time, but in being whole. You stop living to please, and you start living to be true. The resistance comes, but it passes. And what remains is the peace of having chosen yourself, the freedom to say no without guilt, and the joy of knowing that finally you are returning home, back to yourself. You spent so much time being what others expected that you reached a point where you forgot who you were. The desires of others, the problems of others, the dreams of others. All of this has been distancing you from yourself. You became functional, useful, even admired. But inside, you are empty. And now the moment has come to reconnect with yourself. When you stop giving yourself away for crumbs, something awakens. At first it feels strange. You don't quite know what to do with your free time, with the silence, with the freedom. But soon you begin to realize, this space is not empty, it is fertile. It is where you will remember who you truly are. Your identity is not a character, it is not a role, it is an internal pulse. It is what you are when no one is asking anything of you. It is the peace of being with yourself and not wanting to run away. It is knowing that you can stand on your own and still choose to connect out of desire, not out of need. Now those who call, wait. Those who want, respect. Those who deserve, find you whole. Because you no longer live to respond on impulse. You no longer rush to solve everything. You have learned that your presence has value, and value is not to be wasted. Before you tried to fit in. You were always the available one, the quick one, the one who didn't know how to say no. Today you choose. You choose what to respond to. You choose where to place your energy. Being less predictable has become your new power. Being less accessible has become your way of protecting yourself. You have understood that living to please is exhausting, that trying to fit into everything only disassembles you, and that those who truly want you nearby learn to wait, learn to listen, and learn to see you beyond what you deliver. You are no longer here to fulfill expectations. You are here to be whole. The world around you finds it strange, yes, because it was used to your functional version. But now, what presents itself is your true version. The one that says no firmly, that silences without guilt, that prioritizes its own peace without apologizing for it. This new version does not live to fit in, it lives to expand, to reconnect with what matters, to breathe with lightness. You have stopped being an urgency for others to be a presence in yourself. And this changes everything. Those who want to have you nearby will need to learn to deserve your energy. They will need to adapt to your absence, because you are no longer an immediate resource. You are a choice. You are sacred time. You are a rare presence. Chosen one, you are not disappearing. You are positioning yourself. You are saying, through your actions, that your life has value, that your time is not a favor, that your energy is sacred, and that the world will have to learn to deal with that. If this message resonated with your soul, write in the comments, I choose my peace. Let's see how many chosen ones have already made the decision to stop being merely useful, to finally be whole.